There are certain geocaches that are one of a kind. It's an achievement just to find them. The original Stash tribute plaque, geocaching headquarters, Mission 9 Tunnel of Light caches are examples that are so noteworthy that they get a souvenir just for finding them. If you find them all, it is said you've achieved the trifecta. There's something called the Jasmer Challenge too. You accomplish this by finding a cache hidden in every month since geocaching began. We accomplished this back in 2021. That's a tricky challenge because the oldest caches were hidden 25 years ago, and there aren't that many still around. From our house, you have to travel all the way to Washington and all the way out to Utah just to grab some of those months. The two oldest caches in California that haven't been archived yet were hidden in September 2000. For obvious reasons, I grabbed the one in Yuba City, just 85 miles north from our home. But Yuba City is not the oldest cache in California by 2 weeks. That honor goes to Phil's Memorial Cache, so obviously that's been on my geo bucket list. When I'm visiting my father, Auto Teach, it is only 120 miles south of me. So for the second time in my life, I decided to visit Mount Laguna. The first time was on day 3, 4, and 5 of my Pacific Crest trail hike, just about 2 years ago. I left my dad's house at 9 a.m. and arrived at the trailhead about noon. There's a platform there with lots of information about the forest, some outhouses, and a parking permit machine. Unfortunately, the machine was broken, so I had to risk a ticket. I created a list before I left, because I might as well get all the caches I pass on the way to Phil's Memorial. There's a traditional cache right at the trailhead, and the first stage of a multi-cache close by. So I logged the traditional and thought I grabbed the second stage coordinates for the multi before heading out to Phil's. The weather was not ideal. The reason I spent parts of 3 days on the mountain 2 years ago was because of weather. I hiked 26 miles that third day to try to get off the mountain before the storm. It didn't work. The storm was so bad, a guy line on my tent broke. Everything got soaked and I was freezing. Fortunately, Auto Teach and Red Lady were nearby in San Diego and didn't mind interrupting their vacation to pick me up. I spent the rest of the day in sunny San Diego. On the morning of the 5th day, they dropped me off. In knee-deep snow, I continued my walk to Canada. So you can see I didn't want to waste any time. The skies looked the same 2 years ago. I figured I'd grab the rest of the caches on the way back if the sky didn't open up on me. You pass a little lake on the way. Phil's Memorial is near the shore of another lake, Big Laguna. The sky had a little blue in it as I turned the last curve of the trail towards Big Laguna. I figured I could risk finding Gap Filler. Clever name, don't you think? Since the goal was in the woods, I thought I would probably cut through them to get back to the trail. And if I found Gap Filler on the way, I'd save some time on the way back. The find was pretty quick. After Gap Filler, I walked along the lake a little until I was perpendicular to Phil's Memorial Cache. Then I ducked into the woods that had a thin coating of snow. The one thing about these old caches is they tend to be ammo cans. That makes them durable and pretty easy to find. At one point I should mention why the cache is named Phil's Memorial. The cache owner, Good Dog SD, had a very good dog named Phil who deserved a memorial. In the container was another little memorial to a dog named Gidgey. It included her leash. It seemed appropriate to add a picture of our geo dog, Lexi, in the log entry. Lexi passed away just a few weeks ago. Before she slowed down, she would have loved this hike. I continued across the woods to a mystery cache that I figured out the coordinates of the day before. The cache honored the many local geocachers that had come out here to these woods to find Phil's Memorial. I popped out of the woods near No Strings Attached. This cache and one other was partially covered with snow, which might be a first for me. Can you tell I'm a California cacher? Near here were ancient grinding stone holes created by Native Americans that inhabited these woods for eons. Also near here is a little dam used by the cattle that graze in the area. If you count all the caches I found on the way back to the car, I grabbed 10. That's pretty good for a route that's less than 2 miles. Once I got back to the car, I planned to pick up a second stage of the multi-cache, but I had screwed up one of the digits. Turns out it was by the Big Laguna Lake, so I had something to find if I ever returned to Phil's Memorial. I didn't get to visit Mount Laguna, the town, as a trail stop while on the PCT, so I decided to drive through it and visit the Pine Tavern. While there, I talked to a few thru-hikers that were just starting out. And of course, it started to snow. 2 for 2. It always snows in Mount Laguna as far as I can tell. On the way back to my dad's, I passed State Route 1's mile marker 25. That's just 6 miles from the trailhead, so I figured it would be a great place to find Where's 25 locationless cache. Geocaching HQ created this unique cache this year to commemorate the 25 years of geocaching. You're supposed to find a number 25 somewhere special. Nearfield's Memorial Trailhead is pretty special. I should probably finish this geocaching video here, but since I drove through Julian on the way back to my dad's, I felt I had to stop. And like Mount Laguna, I skipped Julian as a trail stop while on the Pacific Crest Trail. Horrible storms damaged the road into Julian, so I couldn't get there in 2023. The town is very friendly to PCT hikers. As you can see, the cider mill advertises they have hiker food. Apparently, Julian is famous for apple cider, so I got a jug of it. Wow, what a great day of geocaching. Thanks for watching.
Nice.